Have you ever wished music could open a doorway into another world? Imagine stepping quietly onto a mossy path beneath whispering ancient forest canopies. A distant harp trembles softly like dew trembling on emerald leaves. The air feels cool, fragrant, and wrapped in gentle glowing morning mist. You sense something magical waiting beyond the bend of this silent trail. Footsteps grow lighter as tension slowly slips from your tired shoulders. A faint melody drifts closer, weaving calm through wandering restless thoughts. Your breathing slows naturally, syncing with the forest's patient timeless rhythm. What if this soundscape could guide you toward deep unwavering focus? What if calm was not forced, but gently invited through melody? Somewhere ahead, a wizard walks with quiet purpose and tranquil patience. His robes brush softly against ferns glistening with fresh morning droplets. The valley ahead glows faintly with hues of shimmering emerald light. Every note feels like a step deeper into peaceful, mindful awareness. You begin forgetting the noise you carried from the outside world. Thoughts untangle like threads loosened from an old woven tapestry. The melody becomes a guide, not merely background, comforting ambiance. It feels personal, as though the music understands your hidden exhaustion. Each chord gently unties knots formed by stress and silent worries. The forest seems alive, listening quietly alongside your settling thoughts. You notice how stillness itself begins feeling surprisingly welcoming and safe. A lute hums somewhere distant, echoing stories from forgotten medieval taverns. Soft chimes sparkle like sunlight dancing across a slow-flowing river. The wizard pauses briefly, sensing the valley's ancient, quiet invitation. You realize this journey mirrors something happening within your own mind. Calm is no longer distant. It walks beside you like companionship. Every sound seems carefully placed to guide your wandering attention inward. Distractions fade like fog dissolving under warm, patient morning sunlight. You start hearing the quiet between notes more clearly than noise. That silence holds a depth you rarely allow yourself to explore. A flute whispers gently, almost like wind passing through forest leaves. Your thoughts begin aligning like stones, forming a clear, purposeful pathway. The wizard continues walking, but now you walk quietly beside him. This is not just listening. This is entering a tranquil, living story. The Emerald Valley ahead promises rest without demanding anything from you. You feel invited rather than instructed to slow your racing mind. The music becomes a bridge between imagination and calm inner awareness. You notice how easily your shoulders relax without conscious, deliberate effort. A distant stream adds a gentle rhythm beneath the unfolding melody. Time itself feels softer, less urgent, less demanding of your attention. The wizard's path curves toward glowing trees wrapped in silver mist. You feel curiosity rising gently, replacing lingering mental exhaustion completely. This soundscape feels like stepping inside a peaceful medieval dreamscape. Every instrument seems to breathe slowly with ancient, patient wisdom. Your heartbeat matches the tempo of calm flowing through each note. Thoughts that felt loud now whisper quietly at the edges. You realize focus doesn't come from effort, but from gentle surrender. The valley opens wider, revealing tranquil light shimmering across green hills. The wizard smiles faintly, as if recognizing your quiet presence nearby. You feel safe exploring this world without expectations or looming pressures. Harp strings shimmer a gay sheen, brushing softly against layers of drifting thoughts. The air seems thicker with calm, almost tangible against your skin. You begin noticing details usually missed in hurried daily living. A bird calls faintly, blending seamlessly into the layered ambient harmony. This journey feels intentional. carefully designed to cradle your awareness. You sense the outside world slowly dissolving behind misty memory. The music does not demand attention. It gently earns your trust. Each step forward feels lighter, quieter, and increasingly peaceful inside. The wizard reaches the valley's edge and pauses in reverent silence. You feel something shift subtly, like mental doors opening without resistance. This is where calm begins transforming into deep, focused presence. The melody deepens slightly, inviting you further into mindful stillness. You realize you haven't checked distractions for several quiet minutes. Your mind feels clearer than it has in a long time. The Emerald Valley glows softly like a sanctuary untouched by chaos. You sense this place was waiting patiently for your arrival. The wizard steps forward, and you follow without hesitation or doubt. Every sound now feels familiar, like returning to a forgotten home. You understand this journey is not about distance, but inner quiet. The music carries you gently toward Issa. The wizard steps into the valley, and the atmosphere subtly changes. Light filters through leaves like golden threads, stitching calm into air. You notice how each note now feels deeper, warmer, more grounding. The path narrows, guiding attention gently toward a single mindful direction. This is where the journey transforms from wandering into intentional presence. The wizard listens carefully, as though the valley itself is speaking. You begin sensing how sound can shape thought without forceful effort. A steady rhythm from distant drums anchors drifting thoughts into focus. The melody no longer surrounds you. It moves quietly within you. You recall moments when your mind felt scattered and endlessly distracted. Notifications, worries, and noise once pulled attention in countless directions. Here, those fragments slowly gather into one calm, unified awareness. The wizard pauses beside a stream reflecting shimmering emerald light. Water flows steadily, mirroring how focus should move without resistance. You realize concentration works best when it flows, not when forced. A soft choir hum rises, filling the valley with gentle reassurance. The music feels like guidance rather than simple, pleasant background ambiance. You think about times you struggled to study despite sincere effort. The harder you tried, the more distant focus seemed to become. Yet here, calm arrives first, and focus naturally follows afterward. The wizard kneels briefly, touching water with thoughtful, quiet reverence. Ripples spread outward, just like calm spreads across restless thinking. You feel how this journey mirrors your own search for clarity. Every instrument seems placed intentionally to support deep mental alignment. The valley teaches patience without using words or rigid instruction. A flute melody circles back, reminding you to stay gently present. You notice your breathing matching the slow musical rhythm unconsciously. Thoughts pass by like clouds without demanding your constant engagement. The wizard resumes walking, but now steps feel slower and deliberate. You begin understanding that focus begins with allowing space for stillness. A distant bell chimes softly, marking time without creating pressure. You reflect on how often time feels like an impatient pursuer. Here, time feels like a companion walking quietly beside awareness. The music carries subtle medieval tones that spark imaginative, peaceful imagery. Castles, forests, and ancient paths appear gently within your thoughts. These images help the mind settle into calm, creative visualization. The wizard approaches a clearing where light gathers in glowing silence. You feel anticipation growing, but without anxiety or restless impatience. This anticipation feels calm, like waiting for sunrise over quiet hills. A harp glides across notes that seem to polish mental clutter away. You remember how peaceful environments always improved your ability to concentrate. Libraries, forests, and quiet rooms often nurtured your best thinking. This valley feels like all those places combined into harmonious sound. The wizard looks upward, observing leaves swaying in slow rhythm. You start noticing how rhythm influences the pace of thinking itself. Faster sounds once created urgency, while slower tones invite reflection. The music here deliberately slows your inner tempo toward thoughtful clarity. You sense how distractions lose strength when inner rhythm becomes steady. A gentle breeze moves through trees, blending naturally with ambient textures. The wizard smiles faintly, recognizing the valley's calming effect clearly. You begin realizing this journey teaches focus without using direct instruction. The lesson unfolds through experience rather than spoken explanation. Each step forward feels like turning a page in a living storybook. The melody shifts slightly, becoming richer, fuller, and more immersive. You feel curiosity rising about what lies deeper within this valley. That curiosity keeps your mind engaged without creating mental strain. The wizard follows a stone path leading toward glowing emerald trees. You follow mentally, sensing clarity growing stronger with every imagined step. This path feels symbolic of the way attention finds gentle direction. The music reminds you that calm is the doorway to sustained focus. You recall struggling nights where silence felt loud and unsettling. Here, sound replaces that silence with comforting structured harmony. The valley feels like a sanctuary designed specifically for thoughtful minds. The wizard slows again, breathing deeply as though honoring this place. You mirror that breath unconsciously, feeling tension release from within. A low string hum creates a foundation beneath floating higher melodies. That foundation feels like mental stability, supporting creative concentration. You realize how rarely you allow yourself such supportive environments. The music becomes a reminder that focus thrives where calm exists. The wizard stops suddenly, and the music softens into near silence. You expect something dramatic, yet nothing visibly extraordinary happens here. The valley remains calm, glowing quietly without spectacle or grand display. Confusion arises gently, like mist drifting across still morning waters. You wonder why this moment feels important despite its simplicity. The wizard closes his eyes, listening more deeply than before. You begin realizing the journey was never about reaching this place. It was always about what changed within you along the way. The music did not guide you somewhere. It guided you inward. The Emerald Valley is not a destination, but a reflection of the calm you already carried but rarely noticed. The wizard never searched for peace because he already understood this truth. You suddenly recognize how often you chase focus outside yourself. You rearrange desks, download apps, and seek perfect working conditions. Yet calm was never hidden in places, tools, or external environments. It was quietly waiting behind layers of constant mental noise. The music simply cleared space for you to finally notice. The wizard breathed slowly, as if acknowledging your realization silently. You feel a shift deeper than relaxation or temporary mental clarity. This feels like remembering something you forgot long ago. The valley's glow now seems symbolic rather than physically significant. It represents the inner landscape where focus naturally begins forming. You understand why the journey felt familiar instead of entirely new. It mirrored a path your mind always knew how to walk. The instruments fade slightly, allowing more room for gentle silence. That silence no longer feels empty or uncomfortable like before. It feels supportive, spacious, and full of quiet potential. The wizard opened his eyes, But nothing around him changed visibly. What changed was perception, awareness, and understanding of calm presence. You realize you were never following the wizard through forest. You were following your own thoughts into deeper mindful stillness. The path, the valley, and the music were guiding metaphors. Metaphors designed to gently lead you back to yourself. Focus is not created. It is uncovered beneath mental clutter. Calm is not achieved. It is remembered through patient awareness. The wizard smiles softly, as though you finally understand the lesson. The Emerald Valley now feels like a symbol of inner clarity. You sense how easily you could return to this state anytime, not by traveling somewhere, but by listening inward carefully. The music resumes lightly, but now you hear it differently. It no longer feels like guidance, but like quiet companionship. You are not being led. You are simply being supported. The realization feels empowering rather than dependent on external sound. The wizard turns gently, beginning the walk back without urgency. You understand there was never anything to find at the end. The journey itself revealed what you needed to recognize. Each note now feels like a reminder rather than instruction. A reminder that your mind knows how to settle naturally. You reflect on how often you underestimate your own inner stillness. The valley's beauty now feels like a mirror of mental peace. You no longer feel like a visitor in this calm landscape. You feel like its quiet creator through attentive awareness. The wizard's steps feel lighter, almost unnecessary, almost symbolic. You realize the path back is simply returning to daily life, but returning with a new understanding of where calm truly exists. The music gently reinforces this insight without speaking any words. Focus is not hunted. It appears when calm clears the way. You sense how this lesson applies beyond this imagined medieval journey. It applies to study, work, creativity, and everyday mindful presence. The wizard fades slightly into background imagery within your thoughts, because now you no longer need a guide to find stillness. You have learned how to recognize the Emerald Valley within. The silence between notes becomes the most meaningful sound of all. You feel grateful for something simple yet profoundly transformative. The journey was never outward, but beautifully and intentionally inward. The music becomes softer, trusting you to carry the lesson forward. You feel capable of entering this calm without needing imagination. The Emerald Valley now lives quietly inside your steady awareness. The wizard's role is complete, and your understanding begins. You recognize this was not fantasy, but a gentle truth revealed. The realization settles comfortably, like sunlight warming quiet forest stones. You feel ready to carry this calm into your daily life. The music fades slightly, leaving space for your own quiet presence. You no longer seek the valley because you have become it, and this understanding changes how you will listen forever.